Here we go again. Hello, very good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Dan Walker and Louise Minchin.
It's 8 o'clock and these are your Monday morning headlines. Good morning, it's Monday the 30th of March. Let's start with our top story, and 20,000 former NHS staff have returned to work to help the fight against coronavirus. This according to the Prime Minister.
Boris Johnson, who's self-isolating after contracting the virus, made the announcement in a video online. It comes after one of the government's top medical advisors warned it could be at least 6 months until life in the UK returns to normal. Rich Preston reports.
Yes, this morning.
In other news, a breathing aid that can help keep coronavirus patients out of intensive care has been created in just a few days.
It's actually been developed in collaboration with the Mercedes Formula One team. What it does is it delivers oxygen to the lungs, and it means you don't need a ventilator. Here's a little bit more about it from our medical correspondent, Fergus Walsh.
I know lots of people are trying to keep fit at the moment by doing all sorts of different things, including following instructors like Joe Wicks, of course, the Green Goddess here on BBC Breakfast. Some residents, though, in Hamburg in Germany have been enjoying a live class by looking out their window. Have a look at it. That's a great idea. If you lived in a block of flats or something, somebody could be downstairs and...
Yeah, because you think that we're all in this sort of situation at the moment where the world's sort of closed in a little bit, hasn't it, in terms of being in lockdown. We don't exactly know how long that's going to last. And for some people, exercising is so important
for everybody at this point.
Keeping things going and maintain that sort of mental, physical balance as well. So there are so many opportunities, I think, now, whether it's through your computer or in Hamburg,
but also
get out on the street.
It's like being part of a community as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
11 minutes past 8. This is Breakfast. Airline cabin crew are being invited to join doctors and nurses at the new NHS Nightingale hospitals to help tackle the coronavirus pandemic.
All planes currently grounded. Thousands of Virgin Atlantic and EasyJet staff have been asked to swap the skies for scrubs and join the volunteer effort.
Let's find out more about...
Well, the Community Secretary, Robert Jenrick, has also emphasised the message that everyone has a part to play, all of us, at a daily government briefing yesterday. This is what he said. It's an extraordinary amount of volunteers, isn't it? 750,000 people. Let's speak now to two people who are working with organisations that are supporting our NHS. Good morning to both of you. Cassandra, let's come to you first of all. So, Health Ship, I think that's what it's called. Give us an idea of why you set it up and how it works.
You know, what's going on? What are people helping with mostly?
At the most...
Tell us a bit about providing NHS with meals, because for those who don't work in the NHS, lots of canteens are closed. You're helping thousands of people. Cassandra, to come back to you, you started this, you say, in Dundee. What has the response been like? Because as we understand it, you're now getting volunteers from right across the UK and Republic of Ireland as well. Is that right? I wanted to come back to you as well. I mean, when you think about the scale of the number of the people who have wanted to volunteer to help, particularly the NHS, 750,000 people, when there's a...
So we partner up with local...
Very briefly smiling as well. From your point of view, it's a big thank you as well, is it? Very much indeed, and good work, both of you. Thank you very much, Cassandra, and thank you very much.
It's important, isn't it? Aside from bringing you the news and the numbers and the statistics, I think something which we've really enjoyed doing over the last few days is some of those positive stories
just watching their
as well.
smiles, Alec and Cassandra, just wonderful. Thank you. It's just nice to have a little bit of sort of good news, actually, isn't it?
It makes a big difference as well when you can have that sort of real tangible impact on other people. And sometimes, like you say, just a burrito at 3 o'clock in the morning can go a long way.
I presume name is Dan. So with everyone over 70 advised to stay indoors, coronavirus has meant a huge change in lifestyle for older people.
One of those is 94-year-old D-Day veteran and fundraiser extraordinaire, the one and only Harry Billings. Earlier this month, you'll have seen, we covered it on Breakfast, he received an MBE for the tens of thousands of pounds he's managed to raise for a memorial to British veterans who died in Normandy. Well, Tim Muffet has caught up with him again to see how he's surviving in isolation.
And we'd like to say thank you to Harry for once again, particularly this time, cheering us up.
We talked about positivity. He always lifts your spirits, doesn't he, Harry Billings?
There's a bit of a change to our programming. Weather is now going to be at 27 minutes past and about 3 minutes to the hour.
Hurry up,
I've got to go quickly because I've got exactly 27 minutes past. You'll get your local news, though, at lunchtime and later into the evening. Carol, 27 minutes past. Good morning. Good.
All the way on to 8:31. Honestly, Carol, you got on far. We nearly got there on time today, Carol.
I'll tell you what, Carol, with our new rules, it's slightly more likely. Lou, I'm not holding my breath. Don't
Always nice to have you on the programme, Carol. Thank you very much.
See you later. So, morning to you. You are watching Breakfast with Dan and Louise.
Let's bring you up to date with some of the main stories around. 20,000 former NHS staff have returned to work to help the fight against coronavirus. This according to the Prime Minister.
It comes
programme.
It is 8:39. Within the past hour or so, British airline EasyJet has announced it is grounding all its planes as a result of the coronavirus. Nina is at the programme. We've got the Green Goddess shortly. And also, we are speaking to Damien Lewis and Helen McCrory because they are joining in this effort to try and get frontline NHS staff hot food. They're coming up shortly. OK, and also, you might have, if you're watching earlier, Sally was telling us she's going to have a chat with Marcus Rashford, Premier League and England star Marcus Rashford. In fact, I believe we're going to do that now. Sal, good morning. Really wonderful to hear from him, Sally, actually, and all about, you know, the fact he was on free school meals. Really inspiring as well. Thank you. Another person who's trying... Thank you, Sal. Another person who's trying to make a difference. We're going to do a bit more of that now as well, aren't we? Should we do that? As NHS doctors and nurses in intensive care units across the UK battle to save as many lives as they can, teams of volunteers are also working to ensure they get fed. Husband and wife actors Damien Lewis and Helen McCrory are leading the, you might have seen, the Feed NHS campaign in partnership with a number of food chains. It's aiming to provide free hot meals to NHS staff. Now, it's not the best quality line that we've had on the breakfast. According to the pair of you... We can't even see ourselves. Oh, right, OK. We're gonna persist with it.
Hello, sorry.
Good morning. Thank you. I wouldn't say it's perfect sort of televisual magic, but we're going to persist with this and see if we can get it to work. So, Helen, we'll start with you first of all. Tell us a bit about this whole process, why you wanted to sign up and what's happening. We lost you. So we lost you when Helen said the big news is. What is it? You well enough to hear that, obviously, you've managed to... Because one of the things we were going to ask you this morning was whether you've sort of tried to nationalise this. Helen, to come back to you on this, we have spoken to so many people over the last few days who are desperate to volunteer, desperate to help our frontline staff. It's in these difficult times, it's really encouraging, isn't it, to hear such positive stories about people who are willing to go out of their way to make sure they can make a difference to others. Both this question, you're going to have to answer it briefly. We did. Hold on, yeah, we heard that. So very briefly, Damien first, and then you, Helen. What is the best thing about isolation, Damien? We'll have to leave. We're going to have to leave you, but it's having each other, isn't it? Glimpse of you at home and the brilliant work you're doing. Thank you very much indeed, and good luck with that homeschooling. Thank you. And to all the people supporting them as well. Now, talk about people making a difference. Time for, should we have a regular workout? Yes, it's a gentle one. It's the Diana Moran, better known as the Green Goddess. Here is her latest instalment. We will. Thank you very much for watching. That's it from Breakfast today. Enjoy your Monday. See you from 6 o'clock tomorrow. Bye-bye.